Hello there, welcome to the shed. It's your man in the shed, Andy P. I hope you're all well. So, I've already been to work today. It's about 11 o'clock, but had a bit of an early start. So, I'm looking through for a podcast or a radio station to listen to on BBC Sounds. And one pops up. I don't know how it popped up, but it popped up. Believe it or not, it was about the Battersea poltergeist. How did I get that? Well, that's spooky, isn't it? Honestly, I didn't look for it. It just came up. Maybe I pushed something, I don't know. Anyway, so it's about this ghost, or this poltergeist, called Donald, I believe he was called, and he was possessing this house in Battersea. It was about 2 miles from Battersea Power Station. There were trains, there were all sorts of things. So the justification that, yeah, we can explain this because this is a naturally occurring noises or stuff like that. There has to be a reason. But the thing with poltergeists, whether you believe in them or not, for me, it's similar to religions. The science behind it is perhaps there is no God. But, in our beliefs, it's better to believe in something than think that we're on a planet which we are in the middle of nowhere, in a void, you die, that's it, you're gone. There's no way to think, oh great, all my loved ones who I once loved are now gone, and that's it, they are no more. Just your memory keeps them alive. And it's nice to have some sort of belief that there is a afterlife and they are happy in heaven, or if they're horrible people, they could be burning in hell. But then you've got to think, as someone, take myself, I'm not necessarily religious, but if I was particularly right wing, which I'm not, I'm slightly centre right, I'm not right wing at all. But if I was a right winger, then I might think Hitler, he's a demigod, he's someone I could worship. So for me, I would put him up there in heaven with God. But yeah, if I was a Jewish person or a Roman or someone who he persecuted, I think, yeah, you belong in hell. So heaven and hell again could relate to your own personal beliefs and who should and shouldn't be there. And let's be fair, we live in the heavens, which is supposed to be the space, I guess. There's enough space up there for anyone who has ever lived to be in heaven, hell, or wherever. Anyway, I'm waffling on about a bit now. So yeah, so this pops up. I listened to it. Not listened to all of it yet. There's still another 4 or 5 programs to go. But this lady, she's pretty convincing that there was a poltergeist. There was another one about, I think it was in the mid-late 70s, another house, I think it was in Ealing, which was also possessed. There was a girl levitating. This girl, Shelley, who was in the Battersea one, she was part of the people telling the story. It was a Radio 4 documentary. Some of their documentaries are pretty decent, quite interesting. Don't normally recommend people TV programs and stuff, but I think this radio show is pretty good. I do like a good podcast. There's plenty out there which I do enjoy. 606 Fantasy 606 is probably my favourite, but that's more football based and it's quite funny. And I like it when Chris takes the mickey out of Ali, but that's me. But it's a podcast that if you've got a bit of time and you think, oh, I'm bored now, what can I listen to? It's one I'd recommend. Also coming back this weekend, of course, we've got the amazing Line of Duty from the BBC, which is superb. The last 5 series have been absolutely brilliant. So again, if you want a recommendation for something to watch on a Sunday night, there's that. You've got Top Gear before that. Need to go and watch that. That's my plan for this morning. Watch Top Gear. Why not? So personally, I think the new Top Gear presenters are fantastic. Obviously, Clarkson, Hammond and May were fantastic as a collective. They went on and done the Grand Tour. Was it as good as classic Top Gear? Yeah, It was good. I watch it. I enjoy it. Would I say it was as good? There were elements which were, but I think the new three now very different to those three. They've got it just about right because Paddy McGuinness is pretty funny and quite a good presenter. Flintoff seems to want to just go to the extremes at most times. And then Chris Harris, he's the nerd. He's the person who knows his stuff and he's a racing driver. So give him a race, he's pretty much going to win it. But yeah, I think that they are three which are working well together. So there you go. Bit of a TV review, bit of a review of a podcast I watched or listened to, earlier. It's interesting, you know, whether you believe in it, you can take the science and you can, well, this is what happened. But there was one interesting part in this podcast, which was about banging. Now, they've done an experiment in a house. This man did let his neighbours know he was going to do this. And he was using a stereo because obviously, hopefully he doesn't have a poltergeist. But there was one night when this poltergeist was banging so hard that it could be heard in the streets. And both neighbours came out and said, look, can you stop banging? It's 3 o'clock in the morning. It's really annoying. Hey man, it's not us banging. We think we might be possessed. And this family got, you know, so many people like, oh, this is the famous family which are being possessed and all this, that and the other. But if you look at the science, maybe there was a reason for it. Maybe there was, you know, excavation underneath your house. But to be fair, if you're doing that at 3 o'clock in the morning, then I'm going to be pissed. Because if you're keeping me awake by doing this. So it's unlikely. There's no sewer works, no major sewer works under there. There's no underground trains which necessarily go under there. And if it does go under there, it's going to be just as noisy in their house as it is the rest of the street, surely. Unless, I don't know. So they try to look for environmental reasons as why it could be. Yeah, all a bit shady. You know, it's one of those things. Is there, isn't there? Well, you decide. Anyway, hope you're all well. Hope you're all staying safe in these strange times. I will probably come out and do another video about some random stuff a bit later, but I thought I'd share that with you. I'm sure you're all really interested in what I listened to this morning, but there you are. So please do give us a thumbs up if you liked it. Leave a comment if you've got some belief about religion or TV, or you got some program which you're thinking, hey Andy, you should watch this or you should listen to this. You know, I'm not going to watch the Tweenies. I'm not going to watch the Teletubbies. But, you know, if it's a sensible recommendation, I might give it a watch. But there you go. Anyway, nice talking to you. Hope you're all well. See you, pals.